My name is Shan Wanqing, and after 2 decades of wandering, I have been welcomed back into the embrace of my biological parents, who reside in a grand estate. In the opulent living room, the crystal chandelier dazzles with an almost blinding brilliance, casting its light upon my faded t-shirt. The false heiress, Xin Qingxiu, weeps like a fragile flower, kneeling before me, her delicate shoulders trembling uncontrollably. My so-called mother cradles her protectively, her tone laced with a mixture of compassion and condescension as she addresses me. Wanqing, Qingxiu has been with us for 20 years. Consider her as an additional sister and do not torment her. My previously unfamiliar father regards me with a scrutinizing gaze, his voice imbued with an authoritative command that leaves no room for dissent. As long as you obediently comply, refraining from contention or rivalry, everything belonging to the Xin family shall rightfully include you. With a smile gracing my lips, I subtly activate a live stream on my phone from a vantage point where they cannot perceive my actions. I have titled the live stream, 20 Years of Wandering Amongst the Common Folk, on my first day back home, required to serve as a blood bag for the false heiress. Then, I lift my gaze to meet theirs, as well as the rapidly increasing viewer count on the screen, and obediently nod. Father, mother, I shall be obedient. They believe this to be the commencement of a familial trial. Little do they know, it is a live broadcast of their impending disgrace. 1. Sister, I am truly sorry. It is all my fault. I should never have been adopted by our parents. Nor should I have intruded upon your life for the past 20 years. Xin Qingxiu knelt on the ground, her delicate and innocent face tilted upwards, tears cascading down like pearls strung on a broken thread. The hem of her white princess gown sprawled on the luxurious handcrafted carpet, accentuating her fragility and beauty. My mother, or rather, now Mrs. Xin, named Lin Wan, held Xin Qingxiu close, casting a gaze at me that was mixed with compassion and reproach. Qingxiu, what are you doing? Get up. This has nothing to do with you. Upon finishing her words, she turned to me, her brow furrowing. Wanqing, you've just returned. Do not frighten your sister. Qingxiu has a frail constitution. She has suffered from a heart condition since childhood and cannot endure any distress. My father, Xin Jiangwo, the chairman of the Xin group, sat on the prominent sofa, rapping his knuckles against the table, producing a dull sound. Enough of this. Wanqing, now that you are back, we are family. Qingxiu is your sister. You must accommodate her more in the future. His words lacked warmth, resembling the announcement of a corporate policy. I stood before them, feeling like an unwelcome intruder. On the screen of my mobile phone, the comments were exploding. Wow, is this a live PA session? Is the host truly the legitimate daughter? This family is excessively biased. What performance is the fake daughter putting on by kneeling? The green tea vibes are practically spilling off the screen. Using the fake daughter as a blood bag, what does that even mean? It's chilling upon reflection. My heart aches for the host. This family clearly harbors ill intentions. Run. I lowered my eyelids, my voice barely audible and tinged with trepidation. I did not bully her. Xin Qingxiu cried even harder, her body weakening as she collapsed into my mother's embrace. Mom, does my sister dislike me? I should just move out. I cannot let her suffer because of me. What nonsense. Lin Wan immediately raised her voice, glaring at me. Xin Wanqing, look at what you have reduced your sister to. Apologize. My father's expression darkened as well. Apologize. Get your sister up. I gazed at them, then at the rapidly scrolling comments in the livestream, and suddenly laughed. Facing the camera, which was also directed at them, I bent down, attempting to assist Xin Qingxiu. Sister, please get up, the ground is cold. My voice was so gentle it could have drawn tears. My parents are right, it is my fault. I should not have returned and startled you. The moment I touched her, Xin Qingxiu trembled even more violently, as if I were electrifying her. What the hell? Host? What are you doing? Don't listen to them. I don't understand this move. Is the host a saint? Wait, the title says blood bag. The big reveal must be coming. I suspect the host is playing a long game. Lin Wan observed my concession, her expression softening slightly, yet still radiating a patronizing superiority. Wanqing, it is good that you can think this way. The Xin family will not mistreat you, but you must also understand your place. Qingxiu is our cherished daughter, and her heart condition is unique. She has Rh-negative blood, commonly referred to as panda blood. We have searched for you for so many years, hoping. She paused, seemingly choosing her words with care. Shin Jangwo took over the conversation, his tone as unyielding as stone. We also hope that you can assist your sister in critical moments. After all, you are connected by blood. As soon as he finished speaking, the live stream exploded with reactions. Blood bag. It's truly a blood bag. What the hell? Are these people demons? To retrieve your biological daughter simply to serve as a mobile blood bank for your adopted daughter? Is this even happening in 2024? Host, call the police. Right now. This is illegal. I'm recording. This family must face consequences. I lifted my head, feigning shock and pallor, my lips quivering slightly. Dad, Mom. Are you suggesting that I should donate blood to my sister? Linwan wore an expression that conveyed, isn't this obvious? We have checked your blood type. It matches your sister's. This is merely a precaution. After all, Qingshu's health condition shouldn't you, as her sister, be willing to help? Shin Qingshu lifted her head from Linwan's embrace, her tear-filled eyes gazing at me. Sister, I'm sorry for being a burden to you. If it weren't for me, you wouldn't have to. I watched her perform, my heart turning to ice. Silently. I directed the camera towards a document on the coffee table, one they had asked me to sign upon entering, which I had yet to examine. The camera zoomed in, and the prominent words at the top of the document came into view for all the audience to see. Voluntary Organ Donation Agreement. Donation recipient, Shin Qingshu. Donated organ, heart. 2. The voluntary organ donation agreement lingered in the live stream for a full 5 seconds. At that moment, the comments experienced a brief pause, followed by an eruption of fury akin to a volcanic explosion. What the hell? What the hell am I seeing? A heart? This isn't a blood bag. This is a matter of life and death. This family has gone insane. Host, run. Now. Immediately. I've already called the police. The location is exactly where the host is live streaming from. This is premeditated murder. The fake daughter's heart condition was actually a need for a heart transplant. So they brought back their biological daughter merely to harvest her heart. I feigned ignorance, picking up the document, my fingers trembling from fear. Dad, Mom, what is this? A flicker of discomfort crossed Linwan's face, as if she hadn't anticipated my direct inquiry. Shin Jangwo snorted coldly, lifting his teacup. It's just a backup plan. The doctor mentioned that Qingshu's condition may require a heart transplant in the future. You are her sister. You are the best candidate. A backup plan? I murmured to myself, tears cascading down at the opportune moment. So, my existence was merely to serve as my sister's backup heart? This question, though uttered lightly, detonated a bomb, igniting the emotions of everyone in the live stream. Just then, the villa's front door was pushed open from the outside. A tall man clad in a bespoke suit strode in. His handsome features and noble demeanor were marred only by a lingering air of arrogance. He was my fiancé, Fu Jinyan, and also Shin Qingshu's childhood friend, Jinyan. Upon seeing him, Shin Qingshu immediately broke free from Lin Wan's embrace and rushed towards him, as if she had found her anchor. Fu Jinyan naturally caught her, his brow furrowed as he surveyed the farce unfolding in the living room, ultimately fixing his gaze upon me with undisguised disdain and revulsion. Shin Wanqing, what are you causing a commotion about this time? Don't you know Qingshu's health is fragile? Before I could respond, Shin Qingshu grasped his arm, timidly explaining, it's not my sister's fault, Jinyan. Please don't blame her. It's all my fault. I shouldn't have come back. She seems reluctant to accept me. Fu Jinyan gently patted her back, but his gaze toward me grew increasingly frigid. Shin Wanqing, I warn you, suppress that small-town mentality you learned in the countryside. The Shin family owes you nothing, least of all Qingshu. If you dare to let her suffer even the slightest grievance, I will not let you off easily. At that moment, my heart felt as though it had been plunged into icy water. Before I was brought back, the matchmaker had presented his photograph to my adoptive parents, claiming he was my betrothed fiancé, the heir to the Fu group, a paragon among men. My adoptive mother had held my hand, her eyes filled with pride. Xingxing, you have endured so much suffering, you are finally going to live a good life. A good life? Is this what my good life entails? I looked at the exquisite couple before me, one appearing pitiful and the other fiercely protective, while I felt like a superfluous and malicious clown. The comments in the livestream had already shifted their target. What the hell? Another gem. Is this the scoundrel fiancé? Is that what eyes are for, to simply breathe? Can you see the fake green tea is acting? The host suffers greatly, manipulated by her entire family, and now even her fiancé treats her this way. This marriage must be annulled. This family must be cast out. I lowered my head, burying my face in my hands, my shoulders trembling slightly as I feigned suppressed sobs. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to, I whispered. Seeing my capitulation, Fu Jinyan's contempt deepened. Wanqing has just returned from the countryside. She is naive. Jinyan, don't hold it against her, Lin Wan interjected, attempting to mediate, yet her words subtly belittled me. Fu Jinyan cast a cold glance my way before addressing Shen Jiangwo. Uncle Shen, shouldn't we reconsider our engagement? The matriarch of the Fu family cannot be a woman of such low stature. His words struck like a poisoned dagger, piercing my heart with precision. Shen Jiangwo's expression shifted, as if he wished to speak. However, Shen Qingxiu interjected, grasping Fu Jinyan's sleeve, urgently declaring, Brother Jinyan, please don't say that. The engagement has long been established. My sister is your fiancé. I'm fine with it. Despite her reassurances, tears streamed down her face more fiercely. Fu Jinyan tenderly wiped her tears away, his voice softer than ever. Foolish girl, I've wronged you. He then retrieved a velvet box from his pocket and, before my eyes, opened it to reveal a dazzling diamond necklace. He placed it around Shen Qingxiu's neck, and as if recalling something, he pulled out a cheap paper box from another pocket and tossed it at my feet. This is your welcome gift. Don't say I've mistreated you, he remarked. The box hit the ground and popped open, revealing a thin red string. The live stream captured this moment perfectly. The stark contrast between the diamond necklace and the red string painfully piercing each viewer's heart. Fu Jinyan looked at me, speaking in a condescending tone, Shen Wanqing. Recognize your position. Do not covet what does not belong to you. Fu Jinyan's words rendered the air in the living room stagnant. Shen Jiangwo and Lin Wan's faces displayed discomfort, yet they were evidently more concerned about Fu Jinyan's attitude, leaving no one to speak on my behalf. Shen Qingxiu caressed the diamond necklace around her neck, a barely perceptible smile gracing her lips, quickly replaced by a feigned look of concern. Sister, I'm sorry. Brother Jinyan didn't mean it. He just more familiar with me. Don't be angry with him. Her words only served to paint me as a jealous, unreasonable woman. The comments in the live stream transformed from anger to pity. Sending hugs to the host, this is such human suffering. Is this even humane? A red string? Why not give you $2 for a lollipop? The insult is too great. Scumbag and shameless woman banned. Don't let them harm others. Host, don't endure this. Pick up your red string and walk away. Where is your dignity? I ignored the paper box at my feet, raising my head instead. My eyes red as I looked at Fu Jinyan. So, what you mean is that our engagement is merely a joke. Fu Jinyan was momentarily taken aback by my direct question, then scoffed. You're not entirely foolish. The engagement between our families is merely a business alliance. I assumed the daughter of the Shen family would be Qingxiu, but it seems. Rest assured, as long as you remain compliant, the position of the Fu family's young mistress is still yours. Of course, the prerequisite is that you cannot obstruct Qingxiu. His words publicly declared that I was merely a placeholder, while he truly cherished Shen Qingxiu. All right, I understand. I responded softly, bending down to pick up the paper box on the floor. I did not open it, simply clenching it tightly in my hand. Then turned to Shen Jiangwo and Lin Wan. Dad, Mom, I'm a bit tired. I'd like to go back to my room to rest. Lin Wan waved her hand impatiently. Let Wang Ma take you upstairs, the room at the end of the second floor. I followed Wang Ma upstairs, and behind me, I heard Shen Qingxiu's delicate voice. Brother Jinan, are you being too harsh on my sister? She just returned and must be very upset. Then came Fu Jinyan's gentle reassurance. You can't show kindness to such a person. My steps faltered for a moment before I continued forward. The room Wang Ma brought me to was indeed the most secluded on the second floor, small and dim. A stark contrast to Shen Qingxiu's dreamlike princess room filled with dolls that I had passed by earlier in the afternoon. Miss, you rest first, if you need anything. Call for me. Wang Ma placed my luggage, a worn-out canvas bag, down and exited. I closed the door, and the frailty and sadness on my face vanished in an instant. I opened the live stream, and as I saw the flood of comfort and support on the screen, warmth coursed through me. Thank you, everyone, I'm all right. I smiled at the camera, then raised the paper box in my hand. Do you all think that his gift to me is an insult? What else could it be? How much is a red string worth? Host, don't overthink it. It's better to be rid of such a scumbag. I shook my head and, in front of everyone, opened the cheap paper box. Inside was indeed a red string. However, in the center of the red string was a small black bead wrapped in gold thread, its material indiscernible. I took it out and showcased it to the camera. Everyone, look at this. What is it? A bead? It looks so dark. Surely it's something picked up from a street vendor. I did not explain, instead. I retrieved a small knife from my canvas bag and carefully cut away the gold thread encasing the bead. As the thread fell away, the true nature of the black bead was revealed. It was not a bead at all, but a miniature black electronic listening device. The live stream fell into a stunned silence. Moments later, the comments exploded. A listening device. How could it be a listening device? Not only is he a scumbag, but he is also a pervert. He wants to eavesdrop on the host. How disgusting. How terrifying. Not a single normal person in this family. Host, you're in a den of wolves. I gazed at the tiny listening device, my expression icy. Fu Jinyan, do you think I'm still the naive Shin Wanqing from the countryside? You want to eavesdrop on me to see if I behave? You want to know if I'll engage in underhanded schemes to sabotage your fairy tale romance with Shen Qingxiu? Very well. I carefully placed the listening device into my pocket. Then I turned to the live stream camera, revealing a knowing smile. Rest assured, I will make good use of this gift. Just then, there was a knock at my door. Lin Wan's voice rang out from outside. Carrying an air of irrefutable command, Wanqing, come out. The family doctor is here to give you and Qingxiu a complete physical examination. 4. Lin Wan's voice was like a death knell. The words complete physical examination sent the comments in the live stream into a frenzy once more. They're coming. The main event is here. They're preparing to dig out hearts. Host, don't go. Fake an illness. Or just say it's that time of the month. Yes, just say you're not comfortable. These private hospital doctors are definitely in cahoots with them. I muted the live stream but kept the camera on. Stuffing my phone back into my pocket, ensuring the lens captured the outside through a gap. I opened the door and Lin Wan stood there. Followed by a middle-aged man wearing gold-rimmed glasses, looking scholarly, holding a medical kit. Mom, I whispered. Lin Wan impatiently scrutinized me. Stop dawdling, hurry down. Doctor. Li's time is precious. He is not here waiting for you. I followed her downstairs, where Shin Qingxiu was delicately reclining on the sofa, Fu Jinyan sitting beside her. While Shin Jiangwo conversed with Dr. Li, conduct all examinations thoroughly, especially those pertaining to blood and organ functions, Shin Jiangwo commanded in a deep voice. Doctor. Li nodded in acknowledgement. Rest assured, Chairman, I have brought portable equipment to ensure precise results. Shin Qingxiu coughed lightly, her voice frail as she interjected, Dad, I'm fine. There's no need for such trouble. Let's prioritize checking on my sister first. She has just returned from the countryside and must be exhausted. She always managed to exhibit her kindness and thoughtfulness at the most opportune moments. Fu Jinyan immediately felt a pang of concern and handed her a cup of warm water. Please refrain from speaking, just focus on resting. Then he turned his gaze toward me, his eyes laden with a warning, Shin Wanqing. Cooperate with the doctor and refrain from any tricks. I lowered my head and approached Dr. Li, obediently extending my arm. Doctor, is it for a blood draw? Doctor. Li glanced at me, his expression tinged with a blend of professional detachment and pity. He skillfully retrieved the syringe and various test tubes. The cold needle pierced my skin, and warm blood flowed through the tube, 1 vial, 2 vials, 3, ultimately 5 large tubes. My complexion began to pale and my body swayed. What on earth? Is this a blood draw or a bone marrow extraction? So much blood. This is heartbreaking. The host's lips are turning white. This family is ruthless. Are they trying to drain the host dry? After the blood draw, Dr. Li produced an array of instruments, applying them to me while recording various data. Throughout the entire ordeal, the Shin family and Fu Jinyan observed with cold indifference. Lin Wan even urged, Dr. Li, hurry up. Qingxiu is still waiting. At long last, the examination concluded. I leaned against the sofa, feeling dizzy. Dr. Li began to examine Shin Qingxiu, his movements gentle in stark contrast to my earlier experience. He drew just a small vial of blood, every action careful, as if afraid to cause her pain. Shin Qingxiu nestled in Fu Jinyan's embrace, pouting, Jinyan Gij. I'm afraid it will hurt. Fu Jinyan gently reassured her. It's just a moment, dear. This scene pierced my heart with a painful intensity. I discreetly took out my phone. pretending to check the time while actually capturing a close-up for the live stream. I can't take it anymore. It's truly nauseating. This double standard. I feel suffocated through the screen. To the one who called the host a saint, how can we resist? They outnumber us and hold wealth and power. Confronting them head-on is a dead end. The host must endure for now and gather evidence. We are all your support. Half an hour later, Dr. Lee approached Shin Jangwo, holding 2 freshly printed reports, his face betraying uncontainable joy. Chairman, madam, I bring tremendous news. He excitedly raised the reports. Miss Shin Wanqing and Miss Qingxiu are a perfect match. Whether it be blood, bone marrow, or, most importantly, the heart. All indicators are nothing short of miraculous. A deafening silence enveloped my mind. The living room fell silent, every gaze fixated upon me. In those eyes, I saw greed, calculation, and impatience. A flicker of ecstatic joy crossed Shin Qingxiu's face, but she quickly lowered her head, covering her mouth with a handkerchief as suppressed, elated sobs escaped her. Lin Wan rushed toward me, seizing my arm with a grip so tight it felt as if she would crush my bones. Wanqing, did you hear? You can save Qingxiu. Your sister is in need. Shin Jangwo stood as well, exuding an air of authority that suggested the matter was settled. Shin Wanqing, this is your responsibility and your honor. Fu Jinyan regarded me with a complex expression, which ultimately solidified into a cold resolution. Sign it, and both the Shin family and I will not treat you unfairly. He referred to the living organ donation consent form. Just then, Shin Qingxiu suddenly screamed, clutching her chest, her body convulsing violently, her complexion turning an ominous shade of blue. Qingxiu, sister. The living room descended into chaos. Dr. Lee rushed forward, shouting, "This is bad. The young lady is experiencing acute heart failure. Immediate surgery is required. Now." Lin Wan, in a frenzied state, lunged in front of me, her eyes bloodshot and fixed on me. She thrust the consent form and a pen into my hands with such force that it pierced my eardrums. Shin Wanqing, sign it, right now. If you dare refuse, I will ensure you accompany her to the grave today. Lin Wan's expression was twisted, resembling that of a vengeful specter. She clutched my hand tightly, attempting to force me to sign the document. The pen tip had already pressed against the paper, leaving a deep mark. The live stream's comments went wild at that moment. Call the police. Is anyone local? Hurry and save her. They are committing murder. This is a live-streamed homicide. Host, resist. Kick her. Bite her. I gazed at the distorted face before me, and then at Shin Qingxiu, who was surrounded by Fu Jinyan and Shin Jangwo, seemingly in pain yet covertly observing me from the corner of her eye. My heart turned cold. Accompany to the grave? Very well. With every ounce of strength, I forcefully pushed Lin Wan aside. She had not anticipated my resistance, stumbling backward and crashing into the coffee table with a loud thud. You dare push me? She shrieked. Ignoring her, I seized the living organ donation consent form and, in front of everyone, tore it in half, then again, until it became a pile of fragments. My heart, even if it were to rot within me and be fed to dogs, would never be given to such a person. My voice, though not loud, resonated clearly in the chaotic living room, reaching every ear. Everyone froze. Shin Jangwo, Lin Wan, Fu Jinyan, and even Shin Qingxiu, on the brink of death, momentarily abandoned their act. They likely had never anticipated that this seemingly meek girl from the countryside would dare to resist with such determination. You dare defy me? Shin Jangwo was the first to react, trembling with rage as he pointed at me. You unfilial daughter. Do you wish to condemn your sister to death? Sister? I scoffed, meeting his gaze directly. From the moment you produced this document, I have had no sister nor parents. I hurled the paper fragments forcefully at Shin Qingxiu's face. Want a heart? Perhaps in your next life. Shin Qingxiu screamed, her eyes shutting tight as the paper struck her. Fu Jinyan immediately shielded her in his embrace, glaring at me with fury. Shin Wanqing, have you lost your mind? He lunged at me, raising his hand to strike. I did not flinch, for I knew he would not dare to hit me. Police, do not move. A commanding voice rang from the entrance. Several uniformed police officers rushed in, the leading officer immediately spotting Fu Jinyan's raised hand. Stop. What do you intend to do? Fu Jinyan's hand froze midair, his expression darkening to an extreme. The Shin family was taken aback. Police? How did you get here? Shin Jangwo questioned. The lead officer displayed his credentials, his expression serious. We received numerous reports from the public about illegal detention and coercion regarding organ donation occurring here. Everyone, accompany us to the police station for questioning. The arrival of the police sent the live stream into a frenzy. They've arrived. Justice has come. This is exhilarating. That tear was so cathartic. Host, you're amazing. This is how it should be done. Let them know we are not to be trifled with. I promptly collapsed onto the ground, covering my face and letting out suppressed sobs, my body trembling violently from the shock. Officer, they want to take my heart. My performance had become the final straw that broke the camel's back. The police's expressions turned grave. Lin Wan continued to scream, "You're lying. We did nothing. She consented." Consent? The lead officer picked up a larger shard of paper from the ground, the word heart glaringly prominent. He sneered, "Take them all away." The Shin family and Fu Jinyan were thus taken away by the police. Before departing, Fu Jinyan turned back and fixed his gaze upon me with a ferocity that felt as though he intended to consume me whole. Undeterred, I met his stare with unwavering resolve. The living room finally fell silent. I ceased my weeping and gradually rose from the floor. At that moment, my phone rang, displaying an unfamiliar number. I answered, activating the speakerphone. A calm, resonant male voice emanated from the receiver. "Is this Miss Shin Wanching?" "Hello, my name is Chin, Attorney Chin. I witnessed your ordeal during the live broadcast, and your situation has escalated into a criminal case. Should you require assistance, I am willing to provide you with free legal aid." The audience in the live stream reacted to his voice. "Wow, a lawyer. And he approached you. Streamer. You must accept. His voice exudes reliability. The horn of counterattack has sounded. Charge forth." I gently expressed my gratitude into the phone, saying, "Thank you, Attorney Chin. I do need assistance." After ending the call, I surveyed the disarray of the living room and walked toward the paper box containing the red string. I retrieved the listening device and, facing the live stream camera, slowly crushed it into fragments. The game has only just begun. The news of the Shin family and Fu Jinyan's arrest, orchestrated by Attorney Chin's team, swiftly ascended to the headlines of local news. The title was sensational: High Society Scandal. To save their adopted daughter, biological parents coerced their own daughter into donating her heart. Public opinion erupted instantaneously. Shin Group's stock plummeted at the market opening. However, the Shin family's public relations team responded with remarkable speed. Within mere hours, an emotionally charged article circulated online. The piece, written from the perspective of an insider, portrayed Shin Qingxiu as a frail, kind-hearted individual, tragically ensnared by fate. Meanwhile, I was depicted as a covetous, malicious sister from the countryside, willing to slander my family for the sake of inheritance, merely watching as my sister faced death. The article also included several photographs of Shin Qingxiu in her sickly childhood, alongside a screenshot of a bank transfer showing that the Shin family had deposited 5 million into my account, labeled as living compensation. I knew there would be a twist. Shin Wanching clearly isn't a good person. 5 million isn't enough? She's willing to sacrifice her own sister's life for money? How wicked. I feel for Miss Qingxiu. Being burdened with such a sister is truly unfortunate. The tide of public sentiment shifted dramatically. My live stream was inundated with a deluge of trolls, filling the screen with vitriolic insults directed at me. Attorney Chin called, his voice still steady, "Miss Shin, how are you holding up? Do not let the online commentary influence you. This is a standard tactic from the opposing side." I assured him that I was fine. I regarded the appalling comments with an unperturbed heart. Regarding the 5 million, Attorney Chin hesitated. "I haven't received it," I replied calmly. "There isn't a single cent in my bank account." He understood immediately. They had fabricated the transfer record. I will have our technical team verify the bank's back-end transactions. Additionally, concerning what you mentioned about them providing you with a small, dark storage room as your bedroom, and the incident involving Fu Jinan humiliating you with the red string, do you have evidence? Yes. I glanced at the phone in my pocket, which was still live streaming, and smiled. I have millions of witnesses. An hour later, I resumed my live stream. This time, I was not in the Shin residence, but in a safe house arranged by Attorney Chin. I wore the faded t-shirt I had on when I first arrived at the Shin family. "Hello everyone, I am Shin Wanching." As I spoke, the comments section immediately divided into two factions, arguing vehemently. I chose to ignore them and continued calmly. Firstly, regarding Shin Family's claim of providing me with 5 million in compensation, here is my bank balance. I displayed my mobile banking page to the camera, clearly showing 0 yuan. I do not know how that transfer screenshot came into existence, but I swear to the heavens, I have not received a single penny. Next, I turned the camera toward the room. This is the bedroom the Shin family assigned to me, which was, prior to my arrival, a storage room. Then, I produced the red string. This was a gift from my fiancé, Mr. Fu Jinyan, presented to me as a token upon our meeting. Finally, I played clips from that day's live stream, showcasing everything from Shin Qingxiu kneeling to Lin Wan coercing me to sign the donation agreement, and Fu Jinyan's humiliation and threats, each moment crystal clear. I pondered how a girl raised in the countryside could possibly malign a member of such a wealthy family. I also questioned how my refusal to have my heart removed could be construed as maliciousness. My voice remained calm, devoid of tears or rage, yet imbued with a heartbreaking strength. I acknowledged that I was not a benevolent individual, for true kindness had been extinguished the moment they presented that donation agreement. I had no desire to compete with Shen Qingxiu, for she and I, these objectified women, had never been the protagonists of this struggle. The true culprits deserving of judgment were those in positions of power, who treated familial bonds, love, and even life as mere bargaining chips. I did not seek their money. I only desired justice. With that, I bowed deeply to the camera. The live stream fell silent. The earlier vitriol directed at me vanished without a trace, replaced by a flood of comments offering apologies and support for my fight for rights. Public sentiment swung back fiercely, more vehemently than ever before. The Shin family's public relations narrative became a laughingstock. At that moment, Attorney Qin sent me a message, a document. Upon opening it, my pupils constricted sharply. It was a draft of a stock transfer intention letter. The content indicated that should I voluntarily donate my heart, the Shin family would transfer 30 of Shin Group's shares, valued at 1 yuan, to the Fu Group. The signatory at the bottom was none other than Fu Jinyan. This document was akin to a bombshell, fundamentally altering the nature of the entire incident. This was no mere family dispute. It was a commercial conspiracy laced with immense financial interests. To exchange my life for 30 of Shin Group's shares, Fu Jinyan, your calculations are astute indeed. Attorney Qin's call came through immediately. Miss Shin, we obtained this document through special channels. Although it is only a draft, it suffices to prove that Fu Jinyan is far from being a mere protector in this affair. I understand, I replied, my voice icy enough to chill. He had been one of the masterminds from the very beginning. It was no wonder he harbored such disdain for me and was so eager for my compliance. My existence as his legitimate fiancé was the greatest variable in his plans. Once I was gone, Shin Qingxiu would naturally assume her role as the sole heir of the Shin family, allowing him, as her savior and lover, to effortlessly consume the Shin family's assets. A fine example of killing two birds with one stone. Attorney Qin, send this document out. Now? He hesitated. Wouldn't it be too soon? They might retaliate, claiming we forged it. Now, I asserted firmly. The more they believe we are hesitant, the more we must catch them off guard. Additionally, arrange a meeting with Fu Jinyan. Attorney Qin fell silent for a few seconds before agreeing. All right, I will make the arrangements. Half an hour later, this potentially game-changing stock transfer intention letter was anonymously exposed by a reputable financial media outlet. The article delved into the cooperative and competitive dynamics between the Fu Group and the Shin Group in recent years, sharply noting that should this agreement materialize, the Fu Group would ascend to an unassailable position within the industry. The cost of all this is merely the life of a girl. If the previous public discourse lingered on moral grounds, it has now escalated to the realms of commercial crime and the obliteration of humanity. The stock price of the Fu Group plummeted, suffering a fate even worse than that of the Shin family. Fu Jinyan found himself thrust into the eye of the storm. He invited me to meet at a private club. By the time I arrived, he was already there. In just a few days, he had visibly withered. Dark circles framing his eyes, and his previously haughty demeanor had been supplanted by a volatile gloom. Upon seeing me, he could no longer maintain his facade of composure and slammed a tablet down in front of me. Shin Wanqing, this is your doing, isn't it? The screen displayed the exposed intention letter. I pulled out a chair and sat across from him, even having the leisure to pour myself a cup of tea. Mr. Fu, One can indulge in culinary excess, but one must choose words with care. What power does a country bumpkin like me possess? Still pretending. Fu Jinyan shot up, leaning over the table, his gaze fixed on me with ferocity. I underestimated you. You are far from the naive village girl you pretend to be. Your cunning is terrifying. Too kind, I remarked, blowing on the steam rising from my teacup. Compared to your ruthless machinations that traded a life for 100 billion in assets, my little schemes are hardly noteworthy. You. Fu Jinyan was at a loss for words, his chest heaving violently. He had likely never been so openly defied by a woman, especially one he deemed inferior. Shen Wanqing, what do you want? He slumped back into his chair, fatigue lacing his voice. Name your price. How much will it take for you to call off the media and declare that document a forgery? I smiled. Mr. Fu, do you truly believe that everything in this world can be quantified with money? I set down my teacup, leaning forward, gazing at him closely for the first time. I desire no riches. I wish merely to watch you, to see you and your ilk lose piece by piece that which you hold most dear. To witness your fall from grace, crashing into the mire. The pallor of Fu Jinyan's face deepened, inch by inch. For the first time, fear flickered in his eyes as he regarded me. You are mad. You have driven me to madness. I rose, looking down on him. Fu Jinyan, do you think this is the end? No, the real show is yet to come. I turned to leave when suddenly my phone vibrated. An anonymous text arrived, accompanied by a video attachment. I opened the video. The scene was one of revelry, vibrant lights, and raucous music at a high-end nightclub. In the center of it all was a woman clad in a provocative slip dress, her face adorned with heavy makeup, laughing and toasting with the men around her. It was none other than Shen Qingxiu, whose heart condition was so severe that it necessitated an immediate transplant. The timestamp revealed this footage was taken merely a week before her acute heart failure. In the video, Shen Qingxiu appeared entirely different from the frail, pale figure she presented before the Shen family, as if a mere breeze could topple her. She radiated vivacity, her eyes sparkling as she played dice with the wealthy elite, tossing back shots of liquor with abandon, exhibiting no signs of discomfort whatsoever. Health. That was the sole word that came to mind. Where was the semblance of a heart patient? I replayed the video several times, confirming the date and location. Then, I forwarded it to Lawyer Qin with a simple note: it is time to put an end to Miss Shen Qingxiu's tragic narrative. Lawyer Qin acted with remarkable swiftness. Within an hour, the video was disseminated by a renowned entertainment blogger with millions of followers. The headline was blunt and explosive: the nightclub revelry of the terminally ill heiress Shen Qingxiu. If the earlier revelations were akin to underwater mines, this video was a nuclear bomb, obliterating Shen Qingxiu's carefully crafted image of frailty and transforming the Shen family's purported efforts to save their beloved daughter into a farcical and ludicrous charade. I can't believe I once felt sympathy for her. I was such a fool. Her physical condition is better than mine. Downing shots like that? Is this what they call a heart condition? More like a test of alcohol tolerance. So it was all a ruse from the very beginning? To deceive Shen Wanqing into donating her heart by pretending to be on the brink of death? Good heavens, what a femme fatale. The entire Shen family are frauds. Actors. The Oscars owe them a little golden statuette. Shen Qingxiu's social media accounts were swiftly besieged by outraged netizens. Beneath her previously posted serene images and soul-soothing captions, the comments were filled with scathing vitriol. Under pressure, the official account of the Shen Group issued a statement claiming that Miss Shen Qingxiu's condition had worsened due to her sister's betrayal and the harassment from netizens, pleading for everyone to cease spreading rumors. This statement only served to stoke the flames. Netizens were unconvinced, even beginning to dig into the hospital where the video was filmed, demanding the release of Shen Qingxiu's true medical status. Soon, an anonymous source claiming to be a nurse from that hospital leaked information, stating that Shen Qingxiu had never been admitted to the ICU, but was instead residing in an upscale VIP room, throwing tantrums and shattering several vases daily. As the layers of deceit were peeled back, the Shen family became the targets of public disdain. Qin Jiangwo and Lin Wan were summoned by the police multiple times. Although they were not formally arrested due to incomplete evidence, their vitality was severely diminished, and company operations came to a standstill. The stock price of the Shen Group had plummeted to the brink of delisting, while Shen Qingxiu faced complete social ostracism. Reports suggested she had suffered a mental breakdown, locking herself in her hospital room, refusing to see anyone. I watched all of this unfold with little emotional upheaval. This was their just desserts. One day, while strategizing our next steps with Lawyer Chin in the safe house, I received an unexpected phone call, my foster parents. As soon as I answered, my foster mother's familiar, tear-choked voice came through. Xing, you must come back. You don't know, the Shin couple has come to our door. My heart tightened. What have they done to you? They haven't harmed us, but they are kneeling in the yard and won't get up. They say they know they were wrong, begging for your forgiveness, pleading for you to tell the media it was all a misunderstanding, or else they'll face ruin. The neighbors are watching. What kind of situation is this? Shin Jangwo and Lin Wan. They had actually found my foster parents and were coercing me in this manner. They knew what mattered most to me. They thought that such a ploy would soften my heart. Mom, don't concern yourself with them. Let them kneel, I said coldly. But Xing, I interrupted my foster mother. The sounds of rustling came through the phone, followed by Lin Wan's nasal, obsequious voice. Wanqing, Mommy knows she was wrong. Please forgive Mommy. We are family. You cannot let the Shin family be destroyed. Now you acknowledge we are family? I scoffed. When you coerced me into signing the donation agreement, why didn't you say we were family? It was all a misunderstanding. Mom was bewitched. Wanqing, please come back. Everything in the Shin family belongs to you. Qingshu has already been sent away. Henceforth, you will be the only daughter of the Shin family. To persuade me to return, they were willing to abandon their most beloved foster daughter. How utterly ironic. Very well, I said softly. You wish for me to return, do you not? Tomorrow at 10 a.m., at the Old Shin residence, we shall hold a press conference. I will provide you with a satisfactory response in front of all the media. Hanging up, I gazed out the window. It was time for this farce to conclude. Just then, the doorbell rang. I anticipated it was Lawyer Chin at the door, only to be met with an unexpected figure, Fu Jinyan. He stood at the entrance, gaunt and hollow-eyed, devoid of his former vigor. As he gazed at me, his lips trembled for what seemed an eternity, before he uttered a phrase in a voice so unfamiliar to me, broken and laden with remorse. Wanqing, I was wrong. The one I have always loved is you. Fu Jinyan's heartfelt confession struck me as utterly absurd. I couldn't suppress a laugh. Mr. Fu, has the recent plummet of your company's stock prices muddled your mind? My derision drained the color from his face. He stepped forward, attempting to grasp my hand. But I deftly sidestepped him. Wanqing, let me explain. I admit my initial interest was in the Shin family shares, but my pursuit of Qingshu was solely to provoke you. I wanted you to feel jealousy, to care for me. Such reasoning was both ludicrous and pitiable. Did he truly regard me as a child of 3? To provoke me? I crossed my arms, leaning against the doorframe, watching his performance with detached amusement. So, sending me a red string and bestowing a diamond necklace upon Shin Qingshu was to provoke me? Forcing me to give Shin Qingshu a heart was also to provoke me? Fu Jinyan, do you take me for a fool, or do you believe everyone else is one? No, that's not it. He insisted fervently. I acknowledge I had ulterior motives regarding the donation, but I was also deceived. I had no idea Qingshu's illness was feigned. I thought she was truly on the brink of death. I merely sought to use this method to keep you within the Shin family, to keep you by my side. Each of his explanations felt like a reckless dance upon my minefield. To keep me by your side? I echoed, my gaze growing icier. Was it in the name of the Fu family's young mistress, or as a mere organ bank for Shin Qingshu? Fu Jinyan fell silent, rendered speechless by my questioning. He shut his eyes in anguish, and when they opened again, the bloodshot veins were even more pronounced. Wanqing, I realize it's too late to say anything now. But please believe me, only after seeing Shin Qingshu's true nature did I comprehend that the one I held in my heart has always been you. I was blinded before. I was the fool. Please, grant me another chance, will you? He attempted to sway me with his earnest gaze. Regrettably, I was no longer the girl who would quicken her heartbeat at his mere glance. A chance? I scoffed. Fu Jinyan, your gravest flaw is not your blindness, but your selfishness. You have never loved me, nor Shin Qingshu. You only love yourself and the sense of power that comes from controlling everything. Once, you thought it easy to dominate me, hence your indifference. Now that you realize I have escaped your grasp and could even threaten you, you return, seeking to bind me once more under the guise of love. Am I correct? Each of my words sliced through his hypocritical facade like a scalpel, exposing the raw, bloody selfishness and scheming within. His complexion shifted from ashen to a deep shade of purple. It was as if my words had struck a nerve. And in a fit of indignation, he bellowed, "No. I did not. Whether you did or did not, you know in your heart." I could no longer be bothered to engage in further banter. "Mr. Fu, if your purpose for visiting today was merely to convey this, you may leave. I have a formidable battle to face tomorrow and no time to indulge in your theatrics of heartfelt regret." With that, I began to shut the door. "Wanqing," he exclaimed, abruptly halting the door with his hand, which turned crimson from the pressure, yet he remained oblivious. "For the sake of our former engagement, please spare the Fu family." At last, he revealed his true intentions, his voice tinged with desperation. "The Shin family is finished. You have triumphed. The Fu family is innocent. You cannot destroy it as well." "Innocent?" I regarded him, finding it to be the most ludicrous joke I had heard all year. "The decline of Fu Group stock was a direct result of your own misjudgments, Fu Jinyan, and had nothing to do with me. When you plotted against my life. Did you ever consider this outcome?" I forcefully pushed his hand away and unflinchingly closed the door. Outside, his furious fists pounded against the door in futile protest. I leaned against the door, listening to the noise, feeling not a shred of satisfaction, but rather a desolate calm. The following day, at the Shin family estate, I arrived as promised. The entrance was swarmed with journalists, their cameras flashing like a tempest of light. Shin Jingwo and Lin Wan stood at the threshold, appearing as if they had aged a decade overnight. Upon spotting me, they rushed forward as if I were their savior. Lin Wan grasped my hand, tears flowing freely. "Wanqing, you have finally come. Quickly, tell the reporters it's all a misunderstanding. We are still a family." Shin Jingwo lowered his tone, "Wanqing, if you aid the Shin family in clarifying this today, from now on, the Shin group will belong to you." I gazed at their grotesque expressions and slowly withdrew my hand. Stepping before the cameras, I seized the microphone. All breath was held in anticipation of my clarification. I surveyed the crowd, my gaze ultimately landing on Shin Jingwo and Lin Wan. I was indeed here to bring closure. Pausing, I then declared to everyone, "I, Shin Wanqing, hereby formally announce the severance of all parental ties with Shin Jingwo and Lin Wan. From this day forth, in sickness and in health, in wealth and in poverty, we shall have no further entanglements." With that, I produced another document from my bag and held it aloft. It was the testimony of my adoptive parents, along with recordings of the Shin family attempting to bribe and threaten them. Additionally, regarding the Shin family's attempted coercion and commercial fraud, my attorney has officially filed a lawsuit with the court. As my words resonated, the crowd erupted into chaos. The flashing lights were relentless and the reporters, sensing blood in the water, thrust their microphones towards me. "Miss Shin, is what you said true? Are you truly severing ties with your biological parents? What are the odds of success in your lawsuit against the Shin family?" The color drained from Shin Jingwo and Lin Wan's faces instantaneously. They likely never imagined that rather than clarifying, I would deliver the most devastating blow. "Shin Wanqing, you wretch, you've lost your mind." Lin Wan was the first to lose control, shrieking as she lunged for the documents in my hand. My bodyguard swiftly intervened, preventing her from reaching me. She thrashed like a madwoman, hurling vicious curses. "I should never have given birth to you. You are a debt collector. A thankless wretch." Shin Jingwo, trembling with rage, pointed at me, unable to articulate a single coherent word. I gazed at them with indifference, handing the documents to my attorney, Qin. "The rest is in your capable hands." "Rest assured," Qin replied, nodding at me before addressing the media, his voice clear and authoritative. "We possess ample evidence concerning the numerous allegations against the Shin couple and Mr. Fu Jinyan. I trust the law will deliver a fair verdict for my client and the public." The press conference concluded abruptly as Shin Jingwo collapsed from the stress. But the storm it stirred was only just beginning. In the days that followed, I became the most sought-after figure online. Meanwhile, the Shin and Fu families plummeted into an abyss from which there would be no return. The Shin group, mired in scandal and compounded by prior mismanagement, swiftly declared bankruptcy. The opulent mansion where I had stayed for less than 2 days was seized and auctioned off by the court. Shin Jingwo suffered a stroke, leaving him partially paralyzed, while Lin Wan, unable to bear the shock, succumbed to madness and was sent to a rehabilitation center. As for Shin Qingshu, who had always lurked in the shadows, She was ultimately discovered to have colluded with her mother, Lin Wan, in the long-term forgery of medical records, facing a 3-year prison sentence for fraud. It was said that before her incarceration, she cried out, blaming me for everything. Fu Jinyan's fate would not fare much better. In a bid for self-preservation, the Fu family promptly severed ties with him, revoking all his positions within the conglomerate. He transformed from a favored son of destiny into a wretched outcast, scorned by all. He sought me out several times, each visit more disheveled and humble than the last. In our final encounter, he knelt before me, grasping at my pant leg. Weeping like a child. Wanqing, I truly realize my mistakes. Look at me, I possess nothing now. Is this what you desired? Do you harbor not a shred of love for me in your heart? I gazed at him, calmly withdrawing my leg. Fu Jinyan, you are mistaken. What I desire has never been to witness your utter desolation. I squatted down to meet his gaze, articulating clearly. What I wish for is for you to comprehend that not everything can be calculated or bartered. Some individuals, once lost, can never be reclaimed. Having said that, I stood and did not look back. In the aftermath of the turmoil, I allocated a portion of the compensation from the Shin family, combined with the earnings from my livestream, to establish a foundation dedicated to providing legal and psychological assistance to women suffering from domestic violence and injustice. I also welcomed my adoptive parents into my life. We rented a house with a small garden, adopted a cat, and cultivated a plethora of flowers. On sunlit afternoons, my adoptive mother would prepare my favorite braised pork, while my adoptive father, donning his reading glasses, would recite the news from the newspaper. I would brew a pot of tea, sit in the garden, and watch the cat chase butterflies, relishing the gentle breeze caressing my face. Life was tranquil and warm. I no longer engaged in live streaming. The name Shin Wanqing gradually faded from the public eye. Yet, I knew that in numerous corners, changes were quietly unfolding due to my story. That was enough for me. One day, I received a package containing a red string, adorned with a smoothly polished black stone at its center. The card bore no signature, only a single phrase, "May your future life shine like the stars." Filled with peace and prosperity. I smiled softly as I adorned my wrist with the red string. Raising my gaze to the window, I beheld the azure sky, basking in the perfect sunlight. My new life was just beginning. The end. Thank you for listening. I look forward to our next story together.